Hello, everyone. I'm thrilled you joined me today for this episode because we are going to cover the subject of love. And it's going to be a different approach because ever since Uranus re-entered Taurus permanently for the next 7 years in March of 2019, our focus on love has increased. Now, Uranus in Taurus covers many other shifts as well, including our perspective on money, which I will cover in a future episode. But today, we're going to focus on relationships, romance, intimacy, and how you are going to be liberated from codependency over the next 7 years and be set free to love without conditions imposed by you on others and by others on you. So this is going to be love without expectations. It's going to be a brand new experience. And as usual, we're going to end the episode with some exciting, empowering tips on how to leverage the star codes in your personal and professional life. Now, that's what we're covering today. And first, let me tell you a little bit more about Uranus. Uranus is the planet of electricity and lightning and excitement and technology and the unexpected. And it is an out-of-the-box planet, the most politically incorrect planet there is. And Taurus is very conservative a sign. So we're digging into some more deep values that we've carried around about what love is and what relationships mean to us. And we're going to get this lightning strike of awakening about what it could be. Now, Uranus also governs astrology and numerology. So this is a fantastic time to learn about astronumerology and use your intuition because Uranus is the intuitive awakener. It's the psychic planet. I call it the Nikola Tesla planet of intuitive insights and discoveries. So you can create those self-discoveries by studying your own astronumerology birth blueprint, which of course came into being the moment you were born. So if you go to starcodeclass.com, there's a free class that tells you all about your birth code, your purpose, your destiny. This class is all about you, your gifts. So just go to starcodeclass.com to discover more about your own code. Now, Uranus breaks old structures and opens new pathways. It's the opposite really of Saturn, which is the planet that creates structure and wants you to follow certain rules. Uranus wants to break all the rules. So with Uranus being the freedom planet, the set you free planet, and Taurus governing productivity and self-worth, self-esteem, your inner values and your outer values, what you value, what your valuables are, what brings you pleasure, the use of your talents, security, your voice. Taurus governs the throat, so it governs how you sound, how you use your voice. It governs your personal resources and it governs love. So our focus in this episode is on Uranus and Taurus's impact on how we love and how that will be changed forever. So Uranus entered Taurus in March 2019. It originally entered in May 2018 for a few months and then left and retrograded back into Aries and then re-entered for the duration of its transit. And it will be in Taurus until 2026. And Uranus in Taurus makes us really aware of how love can be a whole different experience than we thought. How we can look at the feminine archetype, Venus, which is the ruler of Taurus, in a new way so that we can speak the same language of love. And we can receive and give love in an exponential Uranian galactic way. So this is really exciting because, well, let me just backtrack and just explain that when Uranus was discovered in 1781, it was during the French Revolution, the Industrial Revolution, the American Revolution. So it's a revolutionary planet. It guarantees that there's going to be a total reframe in your life, whatever part of the life it goes through. So previous perspectives on love are becoming outdated and new views and values are coming into play. We're revolutionizing how we are intimate with our friends and lovers and partners. So Uranus brings those changes to the patterns and paradigms that we thought were secure, we thought were stable, right? And it introduces new concepts, new ideas, flashes of insights, a new orientation. And it does it in an electric way, in an exciting way. It frees us up to not be stuck, right? And because it's happening in Taurus, Taurus is so secure, it's not going to take us so off guard that we will lose our equilibrium. Taurus is an earth sign. And so love is obviously something that is forever. It is a deep, lasting part of living as a soul, is love. Love is everything. So Taurus resembles that everlasting sense. So when Uranus comes in, it's not like everything will be turned upside down, but it will feel like you're taking a 180 in many ways. Like you will be releasing certain values and belief systems that you held true for a long time, and it'll feel like, oh my gosh, I'm really going the opposite direction. That's how Uranus makes you feel. So we're seriously breaking away from codependency, okay? There are two ways we're going to do this, internally and externally. The internal way that Uranus is making us feel independent in our relationships is to extend that same independence to our partners or friends, colleagues, whoever the close relationship is with, right? So the independence we feel inside that we crave is now being extended to our partner. And the external way we're changing is that Uranus grants us total freedom from just blindly accepting externally imposed rules or expectations culturally, from society, from parents, from mentors, from our religions that are placed on us. So those are the two ways, the internal liberation that we also extend to our partners and the external liberation from rules and expectations that we just accept because that's just how it is, right? So let's look then at the two big themes here, interdependency and codependency, because when we understand the differences, we know what we're moving from, which is codependency, and what we're stepping into now. Okay, so all your relationships are going to be impacted, all your close relationships, not just intimate, romantic, marriage kind of partnerships. It's really every relationship with your son, with your daughter, with your parents, friends, colleagues, mentors. So interdependency, let's look at some differences. Interdependency is that there is a mutual reliance on the other person in the relationship, and there's a real balance in how you give and take energy. And the codependent reflection is that one person does most of the giving and receives little support or help in return. So that's out, and the balanced way is in. This is all about self-worth. This is Taurian stuff. Taurus rules self-worth. Okay? So when we go into codependency, we have let go of our self-worth. Okay? We absorb other people's feelings and suppress our own. We value others more than ourselves. That is the true root of insecurity and fear of being who you are at soul level, and fear of displeasing another. This is very paternal, and we're going into the maternal-paternal balance now. We don't want to just be somebody who relies on our partner to make us feel worthy. That's absurd. We know that we have value, even when others are upset at us for being different or not agreeing with them. That's okay. It's fine. How can we always think the same way? It's absurd. We have our own paths, right? We're just coming together in this lifetime to share an experience, a growth experience, an experience of love. It doesn't mean we have to be doing the same things and agreeing on everything. If anything, that would be quite boring. And so You want to feel safe. You want to feel secure in your relationship. This is very interdependent, but you can't go so far as to then fear rejection or fear criticism or fear abandonment. That is when your safety is dependent on the other person. You're giving your whole value away. Who you are is dependent on the other person feeding your fears. That's not good. So, and that includes fear of conflict, having poor boundaries. Being interdependent means you are putting up boundaries. That's very Taurian. Being free is Uranian. So we're combining the freedom with the security. And I've talked about this in many other videos and forecasts before, where that there is a paradox, because we think that in order to be free and take risks, we will lose security, but that actually is not true. Freedom and security come together. They are two sides of the same coin, the masculine and feminine coin. So when we fear something, we are taken away from our inner sense of freedom. And when we have poor boundaries, we have taken away our sense of inner security. So we need to be able to disagree and say no without feeling guilty. We have to put up boundaries to protect our own sovereignty and not allow another person's, our partner's or friend's opinions to make us feel less worthy just because we disagree. So the freedom is connected to the inner security, feeling free to speak and feeling secure that when we speak something that is not agreed upon, that our balance is not taken away. So these are some important distinctions between interdependency and codependency. And in terms of how we express this, well, one way is that, you can have your own ideas and thoughts and views that are totally separate from your partner. And the codependent way is you have to agree with me. If you don't agree with me, how can we be together? Well, that's pretty crazy. We need to be accepting of each other, especially in these times where there is so much judgment of other points of views. No matter what side you stand on, we have to be respectful of each other because we're each on our own path and we're all wanting the same thing, which is love and freedom, joy, happiness, health. And we may just see things differently. We may be on another path or a way of understanding or influence, outside influence in how we perceive things. So we have to respect. And another way we express interdependency is that you can respect one another's dreams and goals and aspirations. And even if they're completely different, the personal goals, the professional goals, they will not threaten the relationship. So you both feel free enough to express who you really are and how you really feel, and not feel like you have to lie, not tell the truth, pretend in order to be okay in the relationship. That happens with codependency a lot. So, and then both of you know when it's okay to say no. It's always okay to say no if you feel, but don't say yes all the time just to please, right? Don't blame the other person either. Neither one of you will blame each other for how you feel. If you feel badly, please don't hold up point the finger at somebody else for making you feel that way. You're responsible for how you feel. And you both know that you are individuals on one path and that you're wanting to explore that path in your own way. And that's what makes you different. And if you were the same, why would you be attracted to each other? You need to respect that separateness and just allow your soul to sing however it wants to sing without feeling repercussions or guilt from the partner, right, for doing so. So really what it comes down to is Uranus is getting you into recovery from dependence on others. You're recovering your sovereignty. So you're recovering from dependence and you're recovering your sovereignty. And while this is all happening, you're uncovering your soul. You're uncovering who you really are. An independent relationship is totally about growth, consistent growth and loving growth and supportive growth and growth without guilt. So imagine a life where you could stay calm and centered no matter what anyone else or any outside stimuli throws at you. A life where nothing will take you off track, where you're always acting in your own highest good, and that means the highest good of others. So you feel so secure that all you need to do is that Uranian intuition. Close your eyes, whatever it is you need to do to get that insight, right? Your Uranus is about insights, inspiration, intuition, psychic aha moments. So imagine a life where you're free to choose without guilt or any fear of repercussions, however well meant those suggestions are. Doesn't matter. A lot of suggestions and expectations are well-meaning. It doesn't mean that they're right for us, right? So this is the Uranus and Taurus love life and relationship experience that we're all evolving into. So to recap, Uranus craves freedom. It craves breaking through paradigms, while Taurus likes security and tradition. Taurus is ruled by Venus, the planet that governs love. So Uranus and Taurus is helping you create wonderful breakthroughs in your self-worth. This, in turn, will transform your existing and any new relationships you enter now. And these will be very exciting new relationships with Uranus and Taurus. Surprising in many ways, because Uranus just loves dishing up the unexpected here. So you'll be breaking some rules. So it's not a time to resist progressive ideas, explore new options, and have all these guilt trips about it. You need to embrace all the changes that come your way. What you value in terms of relationship dynamics is going to radically change over these next years. So how you feel about love and intimacy, sensuality, Taurus is about the five senses. Taurus is about your voice and how you express yourself, how you say, I love you in so many different ways. That's going to undergo a transformation. So be open to a new perspective on romance, on dating, on commitment, on any partnership you have, professional or personal. Here's the one big takeaway to help you open your heart in a new loving way that really sets you free. So codependency is an emotional state that can affect anyone, right? Parent, friend, colleague, sibling, partner, child. So being codependent doesn't mean that those people don't love one another. Codependency, therefore, it really can be hard to detect. But it can be especially hard to detect in yourself. So our relationships are going to always mirror any lack of self-worth, and that's what you need to really pay attention to. You turn codependent if you haven't healed from the past regarding your self-worth in any given moment in time. For example, a codependent person may be overly passive or be constantly in a caretaking mode. And that then turns into meddling, right? It's such a fine line when you cross that balance and you're not independent that you then become manipulative in either a passive way or in an aggressive way, right? So how can you activate this 180-degree shift into interdependency? Well, I'm going to give you 4 takeaways for this. First of all, you need to know what your own shadow side and your own positive qualities are. Okay, you need to know your blueprint. You need to know what your birthday means and what your birth name means, because those numbers will tell you the positive and challenging sides that you need to actually use and leverage the positive, and that you need to watch and observe when they appear, which is the shadow side. And you can do that at starcodeclass.com. That's one of the many things you'll learn there. So I definitely recommend that. Another big step is to start being utterly honest with yourself. Bring all the attention back to you. So that means you're in control internally first, being in control, right? Saying, I am in control, detaching from the other and becoming self-directed first, right? Intuition, Uranus, listening to that inner voice. By the way, Chiron in Aries, another episode that I recently recorded, talks about the inner healing that we're undergoing first, Aries being the first sign and Chiron being the sacred healer. So this is all connected, right? The looking within first, healing that, listening first. Also, wake up and become conscious. So don't be in denial. Reverse any behavior that doesn't allow you to be aware. So that means, what behavior would that be? Well, negative thinking, negative self-talk, self-criticism, which then of course mirrors, it becomes criticism and negative talk to others, right? So negativity is the biggest obstacle to gaining self-confidence, to gaining self-worth. So just be honest. You'll be set free of guilt. You'll be set free and move forward if you can stop that negative self-talk and negative thinking. Get your mind and heart into positive overdrive, and you'll be amazed if you just stop right before you're about to say something. And remember, the voice is so powerful, the words you use, the tone of voice, all of that. It's either music to the ears or it's cacophony and, violent, or, it's underhanded. But we want to always have a voice that is music to our ears in whichever way you choose to use it, right? And if that means not talking, that's what it means. And sometimes it can definitely mean that, right? Don't take things personally. Accepting your partner's idiosyncrasies, their weird, beliefs, whatever it is, it means accepting your own first, because you have some that your partner thinks are off the wall or not to his or her liking as well. So before you can change, you need to accept yourself and any situation first, and then you can be accepting of others. That doesn't mean you need to put up with a negative situation, right? But if you don't accept that it is a negative situation, if you don't accept that it is damaging, you will not be motivated to change it. So it's very, very important to accept first, and then you won't manipulate. You'll step into authenticity. The acceptance itself is the authenticity. And then that brings us to the final step, and that's being assertive. You need to take action. Once you know, once you wake up, once you accept, once you're aware, you must act. Notice these are all A words. A words, A is the first letter, and it is about action. It's about being original, independent, right? It's the number one, the letter A. So Uranus brings us the insights. Taurus is manifestation, bringing it down to earth, making it practical. It's time to make it real. It's time to be assertive. So act on your insights. Don't be afraid. And if you do so, you're going to manifest miracles, right? Because, Uranus wants you to take a risk. You'll discover something new about yourself. And you'll discover something new about how you feel, and you'll also discover something new about what you really need if you move forward and take that risk. And don't worry, you'll always get feedback, but you must move forward. Feedback will tell you, okay, is it working or not working? Do I like it or do I not like it? But without the action, how are you going to know, right? How are you going to grow? Know and grow, those rhyme. Well, I wonder why. The knowledge and growth are interspersed with each other. Knowledge and growth, know and grow. What you know, you must put into action in order to grow. Don't just sit on the knowledge. Don't just read the book or listen to a video or a podcast and then just be on your way the same old way. That's over with. Uranus and Taurus is saying, no, it's not going to work anymore. What you're getting now, what you're receiving. If it resonates, of course, it's got to resonate first. But if it resonates, then be assertive, be authentic, and that's your magic wand. You know, authenticity in action is magic, right? So you respect yourself and others when you honor who you are and act on those insights. So take charge of your life, feel totally free to be a confident Taurian, and your love life and your dear friendships and your wonderful relationships, they will never be the same again. They will be elevated to a place that will be so liberating, and love will be like intergalactic for you. I mean, this is really multidimensional love that we're talking about, that we're really diving into now over the next 7 years. So it's very exciting. So thank you so much. I'm so thrilled about this particular subject matter. And like I said, we're going to revisit Uranus and Taurus again. I mean, there's many years to go back, but I will also look at the impact on what it means about your relationship with money, which is such a big subject. Love and money, right? So again, if you're excited to explore your own star code, your astronumerology, how to leverage your gifts, then go watch the free training on starcodeclass.com. That class gives you the secret message in your stars, your birth code, your birth name, and it just reveals everything you want to know about your life purpose and destiny. So go to starcodeclass.com, and I'll sign off here. It's been a joy. Thank you for being here with me today, and I look forward to connecting with you on Star Codes next week. Bye-bye for now.